Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Svetlana and I used to work for 4 years in aviation company, so I'm sharing a little bit more of my experiences. Here we go with the part 2 of pros and cons to work for Qatar Airways. If you didn't watch part 1, I strongly recommend you to do so. I will leave the link on the end of this video. Just a reminder from the previous video that there is no perfect job as any other job where you sign a contract. You're basically exchanging your valuable time, knowledge and experience in exchange of a salary. So there will be always things that you will like or dislike. And before I continue, I also would like to do a disclaimer that everything that I'm saying on today's video, it's based on my personal opinion and my personal experience. But however, I try really to be as much as possible objective and give you a realistic point of view before you decide to join the airline. So let's start! The first point is living in Qatar. As many of you were asking me where you will be based, so everyone who is working for Qatar Airways is based in Qatar. It's in the Middle East, it's a small country. It will take like 2 to 3 hours to go from one to another side. The population is 2.6 million, as 92% of the population are living and are focused on Doha, which is the capital city. And 85% of the population is basically migrants, and there's a huge community from India, Pakistan, Philippines, Egypt, and many other countries like from Europe, North America, and South America. And here we go with the first pro of living in Qatar, that is a really international environment, not only at your work but also outside. There is a lot of community based on nationalities as well, based on your common interests like sports or hobby or anything. So it's really easy to connect with people. You will never feel completely alone. I think it's really a great place to live. The other pro about living in Qatar is safety. It's one of the safest countries I've ever been, and believe me, I've been to 73 countries, so I really know what I'm saying. You'll be surprised how relaxed are people there. They're living like their cars with the keys on it, with the windows open. Also in many coffee shops where you see local people, they will leave their wallets and phones unattended, and they will go to the washroom and they come back. Yeah, people are super relaxed because the crime, or let's say the poverty, is almost based to zero. So also the unemployment rate, which makes the country very safe and healthy. And another fact that the only country that they're having a border is Saudi Arabia, and as we know, Saudi Arabia is super strict with all the rules. So basically, people don't have where to go with if they decide to steal something. However, my recommendation is don't leave your items unattended. They're your responsibility, so don't take this for granted. Another pro that I think that it's going on in Qatar is the events. They're organizing a lot of cultural events, sports events, and jazz festivals, food festivals. So most of them are for free, or even if you have to pay, the fee is not as high as maybe being in other countries. So it's really affordable, and yeah, that's the good part. Also, they organize Olympic, Asian Games, the World Cup of handball like 2-3 years ago. Also, they're organizing the World Cup in 2 years. So there's a lot of focus usually on sports and events, but not only. Last year they also organized some music festivals, but this is not their main priority. But you can be sure that there is always something going on in the country, that you always can go entertain. Also, it's a possibility to meet other people, enjoy the nice weather. Yes, weather. Now, this is the point 4 that I will say that in the weather there's the pros and the cons. I couldn't say it's the perfect weather, but all over the year it's like it feels like summer, spring. The winter goes not below than 10 degrees. If it rains just for a few days, usually in autumn season, and then most of the time is just dry and it's pleasant to go around and walk or do some activities outside. However, when it comes to summertime, it can reach up to 50 degrees, so it's really, really extremely hot. So that are the worst months, I think, in Qatar, living there, like July, August, sometimes June, depends. The rest of the months are really nice, so you always can go to the swimming pool or the beach area. But when it comes to summer, yeah, basically people are mostly staying home or spending a lot of time in the malls, because even in the evening time the humidity is still very high, like it can reach up to 80%. So yeah, it's not the best season. But if you're working as a cabin crew, you will be not be there all the time, so you'll be traveling and you'll maybe luckily get some nice destination during summer, like in Europe or in Australia, where you can also enjoy more pleasant weather. Another cons that I would like to now share will be about the dress code. Yes, if you're coming from an open-minded country where you can wear shorts and mini skirts, or you can show your shoulders, well, you might be in trouble if you decide to continue with this way of dressing in Qatar. The country, it's very, I could say, conservative in this term, so it doesn't mean that you have to be covered from to head, but you definitely need to respect their local traditions and rules and religion, which is Islam. So you have to cover at least your shoulders and your knees. Just try to dress a little bit more modest. I'm sure that you will not feel comfortable or when everyone is staring at you or turning on the streets. So yeah, just to avoid this, please bear in mind the dress code. Next point, I think, as a con is that Qatar, it's pretty expensive when it comes to restaurants or going out for drinks. Also, the possibility that you are not able to buy alcohol anywhere. It's like in specific hotels or restaurants in the hotels or clubs in the hotels. So you have to bear in mind that the price maybe will be double or three times more than the usual prices in Europe or other countries, and maybe five times more in Asia, comparing with Asia. So yeah, bear that in mind. But however, like something that is really cheap in Doha is the oil. So if you have your own car, so be sure that it will not cost you a lot to spend on gas, and because it's basically cheaper than the water. So that's another positive side. So you'll be maybe saving money from transportation and like taxis, because also they're very cheap, but not from going out for food and drinks. Yes, when you work for Qatar Airways, you don't have to think about hotels. They are covered by the company. They're provided during your layovers when you have to stay in a destination where you spend some time. And usually the hotels are 4 to 5 stars, 95% I could say. The other 5 to 10% are hotels based in the airport. They're still very good, but yeah, they're not maybe as nice as the one that you can have in downtowns or specific resort areas. Usually the hotels are like Hilton or Sheraton, Intercontinental, Crown Plaza, and so on. So really nice hotels, business hotels most of the time. So you'll be, and you have a lot of compliments provided from the hotels. That's the pros, that they do special discounts for breakfast or room service, or as well like a dinner buffet as well. Some of them, they provide a free laundry for your uniform, free access to gym, swimming pool, spas as well. You can go to the, and you have access to internet. So yeah, most of the hotels, they provide this, but of course just have in mind that mini bars usually are not for free and you have to pay them. The cons of the, let's say, the hotels, that sometimes they're far away from the city. So if you want to go downtown to sightseeing or explore or whatever, Bear in mind that maybe you have to take a train or taxi, and it can be pricey. Also, be prepared that if you have a really short layover, maybe it's not the best option to go downtown. I will just give you an example that I've been in Sri Lanka 21 times, but I never been to Colombo because my layovers were pretty short. So, for example, I arrived 3 in the morning, and then my flight was 5 in the afternoon, so I really didn't have enough time. I have to rest and prepare, and then it took like 2 hours to go to the city, and I don't think it's really worth it to go in a city for just 2 hours to see almost nothing and then spend another 2 hours in traffic. So just bear in mind when you go somewhere on layovers, how far is the destination, how long is your layover. Make sure that you are well rested before any of your flights, because you might get into troubles. So just bear this in mind, that it's part of your job, the good rest. Another point that I would like to talk will be the annual leave. Yes, you get 30 days annual leave per year, which is usually divided into 6 months. Every 6 months you can take 15 days. You can decide how to divide them. So usually the combination is 5, 10 days, or 5, 5, 5, or then and in one shot you can take 15 days, but you cannot take the 30 days all together, or you can do it but in a very difficult way that you have to bid for it and so on. So it's basically a little bit complicated or almost impossible to get in one shot 30 days, but 15 days, and they usually provide another additional days off, so it can make it up to 17 days. Yeah, the cons here is that you have to bid for your leave, so you don't get always the dates that you want or that you have been requested. Usually people bid a lot about Christmas, New Year, or like a special celebration, Easter, Ramadan, or summertime like August. So, and usually the people who has more seniority than you, who are longer in the company, they will get their preferences first. And if you're a new joiner, so basically most probably you will be not able to get the leave that you are requesting if many people are bidding for the same period. So my recommendations here, or advices, is don't go summertime on vacation like August or July, because these are the busiest months. Obviously you will maybe not get first of all the dates, and the second thing, that if you're traveling with the standby ticket, imagine that many other people who are more senior than you, they will get priority before you, and this is the period where also all the people who are traveling on a full fare, they will have a bigger advantage, of course. So my recommendations are bid for like September or June, May, months where the probability that people are traveling, it's a little bit less, so you have better chances to spend better time on your leave, and not to worry that if you'll be able to catch the flight and the seniority and whatever. So there is these small tricks that you have to know, and I would like to advise you in advance. So next point will be visas. So when you're working as a cabin crew, you don't need visas for most of the countries, which is amazing. So for example, even though your passport is pretty restricted in terms of traveling, when it comes to work, Qatar Airways have some agreements with certain countries. So this will give the possibility that you can travel without doing in advance visa. The only exception for country is USA. So they will help you to get the visa, of course. So you have to go for the visa interview in the embassy. It's a C1D visa. So here are some pros and cons about that visa. It's a transit visa they issue for crew members, also people working on the ships and chiefs and so on. So basically, this visa allows you to transit. You can use it also in your free time. What does it mean here? Like when you travel on your vacation, not as a work. Of course, most of the countries that you usually wouldn't maybe require a visa, you have to apply for the visa. But with the American visa, the C1D type visa, transit visa, you can still use it in your free time, but only as a transit visa. What does it mean? So USA cannot be your final destination. So you have to prove that after USA you're going somewhere else, and you have to have a full fare ticket. Yeah. But however, here's a small trick that once you're working for Qatar Airways and you have a good report or record and everything is fine with you, you can apply for a tourist visa, which is B1, and then you can go directly to US as a tourist. So this is the small trick. Also, if you have to go to other countries where you are required like a Schengen visa, like Europe or China or whatever, just make sure to apply in advance. And there's a lot of embassy in Doha that you can do, so this is only when you travel on your vacation. So we'll continue with the grooming. As any other woman, we really like anything when it comes to beauty and how we look. So I think the uniform of Qatar Airways, it's pretty beautiful. It's a very unique color, burgundy. I have my little toy here with me. So this is more or less how it looks. You will get the full set for free. Also, what I really like, it's not only the color, but also, as you can see here, you have the logo, which is the oryx. Oryx, it's type of animal, it's antelope that is found only in Qatar. It's a very unique, rare, and very fast animal. That's how also Qatar Airways would like to be recognized or known about. Here, as I say, you will get a full set for free. For the girls, 2 skirts, 2 trousers, 2 jackets, 3 waists, also a couple of blouses. You'll get the crunchy, the hat, the belt, yeah, many things, cabin shoes, high heels, and the trolley and the lady bag. So I really found the uniform very comfortable, very nice, very easy to maintain as well. It's made of wool, so it will keep you warm during the winter, and it supposedly keep you like a chill during the summer, but I don't think it's really sometimes happening because anyhow summers can be really hot. But it's a nice uniform. It you don't feel like you're sweating in it, so it's really good to work and comfortable. Another pro about that, grooming. When it comes to grooming, you'll get training how to do your makeup, also how to do your nails, what is allowed, what is not allowed, and everything during your ab initio training when you join the airline. I really like about the uniform, it's also the free choice that you can either choose to wear the skirt or the trousers. This is just for the girls, but I think it's really nice because some other airlines, they're stuck just to the skirt, but sometimes we like also to wear trousers. Cons here. As I explained, you'll get everything for free. However, also you have the free altering, but sometimes it's a little bit slow. So when it comes to fixing something, for your uniform, skirt or blouse or whatever, just make sure that you make it with enough time. But however, you can fix it always in the cabin crew uniform department, which you will get to know where is it exactly once you're there, so you can drop it and do that for free. It's a pro and cons terms of the length of the fixing, the altering. Another cons that I could say, that if your uniform it's not fitting or you're missing part of your uniform, or your nails are not very good, or if you're coloring your hair and you have a darker roots than the end of your hair, it can be reasons to be offloaded. So yeah, they're very strict when it comes to grooming because the standards are really high, so they want to make sure that everyone is presentable, it's well looking, they don't have any rash or any also burn marks or like anything that can make people wondering what happened to you or why you look in this way. So make sure that you are having a good grooming every time, because you will have anyhow the grooming checks before the flight. Another point that I would like to discuss is the end of service benefit. I don't think many airlines are providing this benefit, and here once you complete your minimum years of the contract, I think it's now between 2 or 3 years, you get for each year spent in Qatar like an extra salary once you leave, which is it can be quite a good amount of money once you decide to leave, considering it depends really how many years you spend there, but I think it's a really good bonus and it's a good pro. However, there is cons or considerations. If you get terminated, like fired, you will not get that end of service bonus. Also, if you decide to leave the company with less than 30 days of notification period, it can be either reduced or also you will be not entitled of the end of service benefit. So just keep this in mind. But however, whenever you decide to leave, just make it on time, make it with a clean dossier because this can help you for the future. So this is another point that I would like to discuss. It's the rejoining opportunities. So not every airline companies are offering this. For example, if you decide to go in Emirates and you decide to leave, you will be not able to rejoin, while in Qatar Airways you can rejoin the company. I think it's really great because sometimes the crew, they just decide to continue with their studies, or they just decide to take a break for 1-2 years because they want to have a family or whatever reason, and then they decide to go back to aviation. Of course, this is possible only if you had the approval once you had decided to resign the first time, and they ask you if you like to rejoin, so you have to request for it. The reasons that you might be not approved to rejoin is because your dossier is not clean, you had either crew conflicts or passenger complaints, or either you've been terminated, like fired, or also if you decided to resign with less than 30 days notification period, they consider this that you didn't keep the contract, you didn't follow the rules or something like that, or if you break any of the other points of the contract. So for this reason they might reconsider and say no, you will be not able to rejoin. But that's it for this video. I hope you really enjoyed it and you like it. Let me know if you have any specific questions or if you like me to talk about any other topics in below's video, and thank you very much for watching.